Okay, so I have a couple of these. I think that's the one for them. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to take the plastic wheels off, take these big chunky Jouef couplings off. They're just two Jouef Wagons, nothing flash or fantastic about them. So I just don't like these couplings and shit. So we'll start on this one. I've already done one in the past. So they're fairly simple, so I just thought I'd show you what I do. The only thing I have to do is I have to build that up under there, that section, for the KD coupling box. But other than that, I think from memory I put a washer underneath these to build it up a bit, because with the KD it was just slightly out of alignment. But anyway, show you what I do. Getting quite a good stash of plastic wheels lately. Come on, this one doesn't want to come off. It's usually the way. Yep, a collection of plastic wheels, so I'll be able to make a wagon with some wheels in it soon. As you can see, I've got all different types and sorts, and peanut butter jar. It's ideal. Put all your wheels in, keeps them for you. And you can just, if you want to find a wheel, you just have a look through the jar, quick and easy. So yeah. All right. And I just keep it up on the shelf up here. So I learnt the hard way the other day. I cut these with a pair of side cutters with, can't remember whether it was these ones or these ones, but I ended up cracking this round piece. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to cut across with my Dremel just across here. So I learnt the hard way. So you learn by your losses, but yeah. So this is going to get a bit noisy. It's just a Dremel, just a Dremel with a cut-off wheel. So always make sure you're wearing glasses or safety glasses or whatever, because the stuff does fly up and hit you, so make sure you do that. So just cut it up like that while it's hot. Trim your bits. But like I said, be careful trying to cut this, because like I said last time I did it, I cut the plastic. But I need to make sure that there's enough space here. There's enough space here for the coupling box when these turn. I have seen a number of people see these two pieces here act upon this, which stops the wheels turning too much, and I have seen people turn it around that way. But if you leave too much on this here, instead of cleaning it up, if you turn it around and you leave too much, you don't get the same amount of turn as what you would with those two. So what I do is I just trim it around and clean it up a little bit, which is what I'm going to do now. While it's still hot, the plastic I mean, while it's still warm. And the good thing about these is you can use them this way as well. As long as you're careful when you're using the Dremel, there's a lot of things you can do with it. Now see, that's basically leaves me with no cleanup other than just a quick once over underneath there. And that's basically ready to use, you see. Put it on and there you go, see? As simple as that. Now I keep these parts because you never know when this metal piece is useful. There's a pin in there, a push in. You can push the pin through. Right, if you have a small pin, you can push that pin through. Right, so I can get hold of that, grab hold of that pin, and I can drag that out. See, so now you've got the pin, you've got the hook, and you've got the coupling. So worst come to worst, you can always clean that up and glue that on underneath somewhere, like even like that. Glue that on so it's not on the bogie anymore, it's on the wagon. See, there's another way of doing it. There's lots of ways of doing it, but I keep these as just spare parts. Right, so I'll go ahead and do the same on this one. See, it's done. Very quick, very easy. I'm not really fussed about what that looks like in here, but I do clean out some of the plastic, not all of it. But it's not as if you're going to be looking underneath. So if you want, you can just trim that. But be careful cutting this. This is hardened plastic, and if you're not careful, it will. I guarantee you, it will break. Not out to win any fashion, anything flash or fantastic or fashion things or whatever, or make it. I'm not prototypical. I don't want to follow prototypical. I do what I want. So, and what I do is what works, and that's all I get to. So I just clean up any of the edges. Just give it a once over with a little file, just to clean it up. And see, there you have it, a nice little bogie, all clean. That one's a bit different, but it doesn't matter. It's just up to you how much you want to put in work-wise to do whatever you want to do. Right, and for something that's just going to sit on there and rotate like that, it doesn't matter what this part looks like, as long as you've got the clearance here for your box when the wheels turn like that, and the coupling box sits there. As long as you've got enough clearance so the wheels and the flanges don't hit that coupling box, you're good as gold. All right, so I'll push this one through just to show you once again. All right, and I'm using a file, so it doesn't have to be anything, just round and thin, as long as you can get the point in. Once you move it, you've got it, and then just pull it through. Right, pull it through, hook comes out, falls through, and there you have more parts. Always, I cannot stress how much it is important. Always keep your offcuts, because you never know what you can use the offcuts for. All right, so maybe you could put like those two bits and pieces in a wagon, you know, like. See, there's part of a wagon load already. See, just simple things like that, just bits and pieces sitting in. All right, you can have those couplings in there. Right, there's part of a wagon load straight away. All right, don't throw your stuff out. Always keep them. And I put those things into a little container of what I keep, and I call it wagon load, parts for wagon loads. So just think of it like that, guys. Just, I can't stress, do not throw parts out. They are just so handy to have. Alright, so we'll do this one as well. Alright. Bolts in there, that's in there, ready to go. The next part. Oops, I put the container away. Alright. And I think these are 33s. Well, Wagons are supposed to be, so everyone says, but don't swear on it. But 33-inch wheels, but I use I'll keep one out, and I'll show you what I do. So I've got my collection of wheels, right? So we're 33. That's way too small, right? Even I can see that a mile off, right? That's a 33, so you're not going to put a 33. That's a 36, that's still not going to fit, so you're going to put a 38. Right? And what I do straight away is I line that up, right, pin to pin, have a look, and that gives you from that flange there to that there, the tire of the wheel from there to there, and have a look where it lines up. And you'll see, looking down the camera, you'll see that that is a little bit smaller than that. So going at it, a 38 inch wheel, right, because you can't get, very hard here in Australia to get 36 solids wheels. All right, so I go for a 38. All right, so, and that's what, these are the only 38s I can get here in Australia, and that's what they are, is HO scale 38 inch metal spoked wheels for models from AliExpress, HP 1487-24, which means there's 24 to a box, or you have 12. 1487-12 means there's 12 to a box, but I buy them in boxes of 24s. You guys over in America are very lucky to be able to buy your wheels in boxes of 100s, because here in Australia we can't. See, there's a box of 24, and they're C87 24 36s, all right, which will be those ones there. All right, so I always have a pack. When I start getting low, I'll order another set, like 33 inch spokes there. They're getting low, whoops, 36 spokes, right, so they're getting a bit low. There's another design of a spoke there, right, they're 36 solids, whereas these are 36 solids, but they're an American wheel style. All right, you can see in the inner part of the wheel, right, it's a different, and the pin, oops, the pin that goes through the from one side to the other is slightly longer. So you need a few different variances. These are just ones, like I've got ones here with the gear cogs on them. All right, these are another ones again with gear cogs. So always keep yourself some spares. So, all right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I want 8 of those, don't I? 5, 6, 7, I think that is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, and being a 38 inch, that helps me with the height of the coupling. All right, and I have all my stuff like that in big containers because it's easier for me. All right, okay, so I'm going to cut these now. All right. Just clean it up. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. It's up to you what level of you want. So, but just be careful, like I said, be careful not to cut into this circle part. You want a bit of strength around the side of it. Otherwise, if this breaks, you're back to gluing, and it's a nightmare because it's like a porcelain. It's not really a plastic, it's like a porcelain, so it can be a bit of a nightmare trying to make it glue. I use for this I use CA, and I use bicarb soda, which helps. So yeah, because that stuff is very hard to glue. Well, that's, see, I just shaped it to this kind of circular kind of shape, kind of, sort of, you know. Just clean it up. That's all I'm doing. Just getting the burrs off, really. Make sure it's nice and smooth because that's where it sits. Clean some of this off a bit. Like I said, it's not a fashion. There you go. Happy as. Right, just cleans off all the burrs, all the edges. That one's not too bad as well. So that's, I'm happy with that. Once again, one side will be sticking out more than the other, so I just push from this shallower edge. Grab my pliers, pull the pin There it is. Pin comes out, hook comes out, and there it is. Very simple. But always there'll be one side sticking out more than the other. So push from the shallower side of the two. And once you push it, it loosens it up. And it just comes out. Alright, next part. Clean your bench. Once again, my lovely little boxes that I love. Right. I just buy them from the $2 shop. I don't go to the hobby shop, because the hobby shop, they're about $20 or whatever. I showed in an earlier video. I've got some of these from the $2 shop. I think these are about 10 or 12 bucks. So a fraction of the price from the hobby shop. I go to the hobby shop for parts that I can't get online, or if I want to see something in person, like paints, I'll go to the hobby shop. But paints I get at Bunnings, which is local hardware, because I buy small tins of paint. I haven't got any local here, but a small tin of paint about this size is about $5 or $10 at the paint store, whereas you go to a hobby shop, you're paying 30 bucks or something. It's just, use your brains, guys. Use your brains. Buy stuff where you can get it cheaper. I'm all for helping the hobby shops, yes, but hobby shops, they're marking their prices up way too much. If you want to keep paying the expensive price by looking after your mate's shop, that's fine, but I'm not after that side of things. I'm not into spending a fortune. Alright, so I've already got one here. Alright, come here. I've already got a coupling already that's been glued and ready set. Alright, so I'll use that for one end. Always look at what I've already got pre-made, if anything, or done. So I need, and these are one of my coupling boxes that I 3D printed. Alright, and I use where am I, 148 whiskers. Alright, which are those ones, and they fit over the coupling pin on my coupling boxes beautifully. Alright, but mind you, it'll be upside down, it'll be in that way. Alright, so that's two. There's another coupling box with a lid. Alright, so there's three. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I want one more. There's another coupling box and a coupling, and always make sure when you pull them out that they've got the little springs on them. Alright, so check this one, springs on that one, check this one, springs on that one, and I'll check this one and the springs on that one. So there we go. So now we want 3 lids. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, I want 2 lids. 2 of my very special made lids. There's a lid, goes on that one, like that. Fits specially on. Alright, and the other ones I make on my 3D printer. Simple as that. Alright, and they all fit. And I've made them with a little bit so that when you push the lid on, it sits over the pin and stays in place, and then you can glue it in place. So the benefits of having your own 3D printer. Right, there's another one. Right, put it on. Oops. Oh, see, my fingers are all over the place today. Right, get this out of the way so you can see. Right, there's the coupling box, there's the lid with the line to the back, fits over the top. And when I get it in the right spot, click, oops, I get it in the right spot. Oh, that's a bit tight, that one. It will fit, but it needs just a very slight once around with this. Right, and this is all I do, is I just go around it very slightly. Right? And that's usually all you need, is just the hole when the resin with the FDM, when it's going round. Right, see, there you go, it's on, done, right? And then that glues on. Simple as, boys and girls. And if you have all the parts ready to go, it makes it all so much quicker and easier. Alright, so that's that one. One for in there. Oh, get on there. Alright, and if I want, I think that will be close to clearance. Maybe, maybe not. Might want a very small piece under it, because I milled up the bottom of these on here. I build them up a bit somewhat, so it's easier. Let me put a coupling on and we'll shell check. Coupling goes on upside down, the lid goes on. Then we sit it on. And yes, so that moves all right, but no, needs a little piece under it. So if I get my little pieces of stuff, styrene, 0.2, 0.4, 0.5, 0.5, 1, no, 0.4, no, what's that one, 0.4, that's 0.5, I think I'll have 0.4, that one, 0.4, yep, that one I'll have, some of that. I think 0.4 is better than 0.5 for what I need. Out you come. And don't cut a great big gaping cut across all of it, just a little bit. That's what I do, just a little bit, and usually makes it easier to get a piece out. Right, so that's all you want, just a little piece. Well, this is how I do everything, all right? It's up to you how you do your things, but I'm just showing you how I do mine, all right? So coupling box is about, I don't know, where's the coupling box? There. So the width from there to there, right? So I want a coupling box a bit bigger than a coupling box, or if I start at that end and I want it about that long, there. All right. So that little mark in black, I'll mark it there. Alright, so from there to there is the coupling box size. Right, so I know for next time. So I just get that and go, I want that piece there. Done. Right, simple as that. And I want 4 of them. They don't have to be exactly square or straight, or you're just going to face it up to the box. Someone going over the speed hump. Alright. And don't forget also, you've got to allow the difference of your glue as well, because your glue's 0.1 of a millimetre wide. Brings up the height, and I just put it on post-it note. I just put a dab of glue on the post-it note, and I got a peg that stops it unrolling. A little, now just rough this up, so it doesn't have to be flash or fantastic. It's just, see, done. Right. That just helps that piece stick. Put your glue on there. Pick up your piece when you can pick it up. When you can pick it up, he says. There it is. and find your center, and then on it goes. Simple as that. See, it's called rough and ready model building, because like there's my center. I already know there's my center, and the center's about there without just looking at just by looking at where the screw goes. All right, so then this is the only problem with my finding is the sides of them. That's no good. All right. Okay, so we'll have a look at this one and see where this sits, whether I want another piece higher. No, that's sitting beautifully flush on that. It's not impeding the coupling. So we now go and put another bit of glue on here, on this piece. Not too much. And then we get our coupling. Remember, the correct way facing is that way. And line it up. And there it is, done. Simple as that. Yep. There's the coupling, whisker coupling, ready to be used, right? And that keeps it nice and close, all right? That actually might be, I might want to change that for a long coupling actually, because that pin should be about the center of there. So I might want to change that for a long shank coupling actually. Always put the lid on and clip it down when you're moving stuff around. Always. Right, now this is a long shank whisker coupler. Yeah, now that's better. That's got the coupling pin at where the buffers are. Alright, so that's what I want. Put the lid back on. Alright, so, and that's why you have a couple of different variants of couplings, so that you can check which one you want. Right, so I'm just pushing that top of that lid down so it sits firmly on, and then what I will do is I usually glue it straight away, but I'm not going to at the moment because I want to see what it's like when I put the wheels on, because I might need to put an up shank or a down shank, so I just leave that like that for the moment. So a couple of lines, a couple of squiggles. There's nothing to it, and this is what I don't understand with all these people prototypical. Oh, you can't do it that way, that's not right. I'm sorry, but there is no right, there is no wrong. It's just I do things my way, you do things your way. Simple as. At the end of the day, you put the trains on the track and you play with the trains. That's the thing that we're doing, is we're making trains run around a piece of track. Now, if that gets your goat up and you don't get that, well, I'm sorry, but that's how I do it. All right, you don't want to play my game, I'm not going to be worried about it, because at the end of the day, I don't care. Right, so we'll sit that on there. We'll just check, right? And all I'm going to do with this is just check the clearance of that to that, which is pretty well spot on. So I'm happy with that. So that box is going to go on there. Right, bit of glue on that. Not flash, not fantastic, but that's all it is. At the end of the day, that's all it is. See, it's done. Right, that lines up with the pin there, right? See that? Look, I'll even show you. Look, the center of that lines up with the center of that. Right, you can do it all the way through. Right, center of that one. Center of that lines up with the center of that. Simple, see? You do it often enough, you get to know. Right, so that one, so I'm going to need long shank couplings, because those short shank couplings are going to be too short, because the box sits back, because I'm not cutting the edge here out is why. All right, so you just have a couple of couplings. I want 3 more, 2, 3. That's why you keep couplings in your box always. When you run low, like at the moment, I've got 1 left of the long shank couplings, right? got what I need, put the lid on, right? So that one's going to possibly be an issue. So, but anyway, all right, so put that on. Puts the coupling pretty much in line with the buffers where it needs to be. All right, and put the lid on. Click. Just pushing that down, make sure that fits properly. And that's done. See, that's done, ready to put the wheels on the trucks and check it for height. It's, people say, oh, it's got to be this, it's got to, well, I'm sorry, but no. People make it too hard for other people. There's a lot of people coming into the hobby that want to know, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? If you tell them, oh, everything's got to be prototypical and it's got to be this millimetre from there and that, they're not going to do the hobby. They're going to say, oh, bugger this, it's all too hard. Make it easy for the new people. Slap it in, get it done. See? Slap it in, get it done. That's slightly off, but it's still going to do the job. Oops, hang on. See? My finger's getting in the way. But luckily, the glue didn't take straight away, but simple as, right? That's why I don't aspire, or I don't have anything to do with this prototypical rubbish. Because I'm sorry, but I'm not prototypical. I'm not a normal person, right? I'm different. Like everybody else, we're all different people. We're all trying to get the things done. At the end of the day, is all we're trying to do is play trains. So the people that say, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that because of, well, I'm sorry, but you're the ones that are telling everybody, oh, it's got to be prototypical, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Sorry, but you're the ones that are putting the new people off. And until you start to learn that, we're going to keep putting all the newbies off because, oh, it's got to be prototypical, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be spot on. No, it doesn't have to be. Right, look, here's another one. Double glue, let it run. Right, double glue, let it run. Put some stuff on there, right? Put that on there. I know this one's not right, but it'll still fit. Not right, because the coupling box is too big. Right, coupling box. While the glue's still playing around, there we go. Okay, done. Double glue. Right. Let it sit for a couple of seconds. Don't want that one, I want one of mine. I might have to print some more of mine. Right. Set it on, butt it up, done. Right. That's level, see? That's level across there, look at that, see? You can even see it in the glue, right? Level. Spot on. Right, I'll put that back because it's too short. Alright, so I've got one. Let's check this one. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh. And if you get into the routine of just doing it and not having to be perfect, you'll get shit done. Okay. Put that one on there. Right. Put the lid on. And I get the lid in the right spot. There we go. Right, simple as that. Okay, now we want some wheels, don't we? So you can build it all out in 20 minutes. Once you get yourself into the routine. Right, now these aren't spinning freely, and I'll show you a trick in a minute, right? They're not quite. So, I'll get my axle bearing reamer, right? And there's two. There's a one with little wheels on it, and there's a central one, and I'll show you the difference. Right, this one is good for these type because you can put one end in there, one end in there, and people say, oh, but you've got to run it between your fingers. No, you don't have to run it. Yes, you can do it like that, right? This one's got a cutting edge on both sides, so I can do that, run it between up and down my finger, or you can put it on the desk and you can run it around like that, gently squeezing the sides in, right, but not too much because you'll break it. Just gently running it. Right, that's that one done. And put into the next wheel because it cuts both wheels at the same time, right? So do that on your finger, pushing the side, right, pushing the sides in, push it round, right, and that's done. Whereas this one, you can do, I'll do the next one, right? So the next one, put that in there, put that one in there. Now some of these reamers only have a cutting edge on one side, not the other side. So be mindful of which one you got, but this one's okay because some axle boxes or some trucks you can't do this, but this one I can. So squeeze it and just run it up and down my finger, right? Simple as that. That's all you need, right? That'll clean up the axle journal, right? Same again. Give it a little bit of pressure to squeeze it in and run it up and down your finger. Right? Just a couple of times, that's all you need to do. Simple. Right? And that was, I don't know, what was it? $26, $27 online. Right? So, and then I'll put these wheels in, you'll see the difference. Right? Look at that. See? Now, with your wheels, hard to tell on these ones, but there's a little plastic insert. When you find it, you'll know. Right? This one's got a very small piece of plastic on that side there. This side, the wheel goes into a plastic piece, which is inside there. So what I'm looking for is the plastic piece showing this side. So what I do is always, plastic goes down. Like when I do with my engine and motors and stuff, I do gears go down. So next wheel, look for it. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see it, but I'll try and do it so you can see. If you can maybe see, I'm not sure, there you might be able to see there's a little piece of plastic, just a ridge there, but there's not on that side. So whether you can see it, so there's a piece of plastic, but it's inside between the wheel and the axle, whereas this side, the plastic is there on the edge there. So what I do, plastic, always plastic goes down, all right, on every axle, on every truck you make, right? So when you're looking at it, when the coupling's at this side, plastic goes down. All right, then we get another one for the next one. All right, coupling's there. And there's the plastic, so that one there. Right, see, that's still a bit tight. Whereas these two, hold them like that, right? See? Whereas that one won't even spin, right? So we'll check another wheel just to be safe, because there could be something on that wheel. Right, no, it's that axle journal. Right, so I'll turn the truck around and we'll see what like in the next one. See whether I need to use my cutter in that one or not. That one spins fine, see? So it's only that side. So I'll just put this in, push the wheels, push the sides of the truck together and run it up and down my finger a couple of times. That's all it needs, right? You're just cleaning it out. There you go, see? Hold the wheel, that one there. That one's still playing up a bit. No, there it is, look, see? Now that's ready to put that one on there and that one on there. Now always when you put them on and you've got a new coupling box, always check you've got your range of movement. So if I put that in where it's supposed to be, that pin down there needs to touch that block. So when it rotates, it must touch that. If it doesn't, then the side of your box needs trimming. We need to trim these boxes. So one in there, put that down there and slips in. Now I can see that the rims of the wheels or the flanges are touching the side of this box before it stops at this. So what I will do is I will glue the lid on. Once I've checked to see that the coupling height is correct, I will glue that lid on, and then I will gently just trim a little piece of the lid, because I know the lids stick out on these boxes that I make. And I'll show you. See these bolts? They've got a ridge here, right? That's what the part sits inside the wheels, and you've got to be careful that it's not sitting there. So when you put them in, line them up, makes it a bit easier. Make sure when you're sitting it into the wheels, and it's only on these Jouef ones. These are the only ones that have this little recess on the wheels, on the bolt, so it sits flush. Right, and then screw it in. Like I said, make sure you've got it in the right spot. They will tighten up firm. That's how they're designed, and still allows the truck to move from side to side, which is what I like about these. They're a very simple carriage, and they work very well every time. Right, so I've got two wheels there. Put it up on top. That coupling's alright, and that coupling's alright, and spot on. So once I glue it, I can then bend the side, the trip pins. Take these off, and then I'll just put a dab of glue on them. Right, that glue's still usable, so that's good. And if you cut them long enough and in the right way, you can use it, and it makes it very easy to do a lot of things with. And you just want to run it along that edge underneath. That's all you need, is just a little bit of capillary action underneath there to make the glue run. You don't want too much, because if you put too much, it's a nightmare to dry. And it's a nightmare to get it undone if and when you undo it. Or if you've done like I've done, you've put it all together and the coupling's upside down, and it's like, oh no. So it does happen. So yes, even to the best of us. And I wouldn't say I'm the best of them, but I have my quirks and I have my ways. Give it a shake, make sure the wheels turn. Right, so I'm looking now, I'm looking at where these little black arms touch this piece, and that's touching there. And when I turn it that way, I can see now that I can get the tooth of my blade between that little black piece and that. So the side of this needs a trim, right? So I'll do the same on this one, and I can see also that that needs trim on this side, but that side doesn't. Right, so you just let them dry. Right. So I'll just give it a little bit of a nip with the knife into the, and then I'll just give it a cut down the side of it. And that's how I know, because I make my boxes to be able to do that with them. Right. So there's a couple of different ways you can trim it like this with a knife. Right, and just push it out the way. That's why I say you put the blade that way. Hang on a minute, just want to do this. Right, so it needs to be there from there. Right, so now that's got all that space now, and it's not impeding the box at all. So I'll just clean that up a bit. I'm still doing it with the wheels on. I shouldn't, but I'm just doing it to show you that it just needs a little bit of trimming, right? And that's there, so that now gives it full range of motion, which that needs also. So to do it the easy way, take the wheel off, come to the center of the pin, put a slice, is on my boxes, right? These are the ones I make, so I know, right? And then I know that I can just trim that there, come to the side, because the box lids hang over the side of the box. And move that out the way and touch up where the side of the box is there, and just gently go down the side. Right, because it's PLA and it's layers, once you get the layer you can peel it. Right, see, look at that, see, just peeling a couple extra layers of the side movement of it. Right, done. And then just make sure I've got enough glue to hold the lid in place. Right, and that's all I'm doing now, is just a bit more glue. And yes, you can pay through the nose for the proper boxes and all that sort of stuff, but I've got a 3D printer on it. And if I can use it, I will. Right, so there's 2 pieces of the width of that come off. Right, and then when I put all this back on, that gives me the full range of motion. Those wheels are turning, that's turning, that's turning, and that's turning. So there you go. And I could make the lids that fit purely spot on, but then it doesn't give you any room if you need to make it a bit firmer or anything. And it's easier, and it makes them, I think it makes them a little bit more solid. Bend the pins, right. Now this is where you put your finger on the coupling box and bend the pin, because if you don't hold the coupling box, you're going to bend and the whole box will try to move. Alright, so hold the box with the coupling firm, or do it up like this, but if you can, hold it firm, down low, and bend the pin. Alright, bend the pin, not the coupling, the pin. Alright, then check. Alright, these are just little rounded nose pliers that you buy at the hardware. They're not proper trip pin pliers or jeweler's pliers or anything. Like, you can buy them, but you pay through the nose. Like, these are about, I don't know, I can't remember. I've had them for donkey's years. And like I was saying before, if you can afford to buy stuff from the hobby shop and you want to keep the hobby shop going, that's fine. I understand that. But for me, I buy my tools at the hardware. I buy all this stuff. If you buy it online, eBay, whatever, even better, even cheaper. Temu, no, I will not buy Temu, because I've had some friends that have bought stuff and they're still waiting for it to turn up. Still, months later. Alright, so there we go. 2 wagons done. Put my bits and pieces away. That's a, what size is that? Doesn't say, but get yourself some of these. Some of these are right for those, for Jouef wagons. The smaller ones, like this whole range of different sizes. Like you can see, I'll put blue tack in so that the pin doesn't fall in too far. Right, so that's the biggest of the lot, that one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to a set. Right, just buy yourself online. Right, jeweler screwdriver set. Like I can tell you now, that one's bigger than that one. That's that one, that's that one. Right, so that's a set. Right, buy yourself. Just hardware. Bunnings, hardware, or your local, what is it? What do you have out in America? Yeah, what is it? Home Depot or whatever. Just put them up, get them, buy them, put them up. I have all my stuff up here, like I'll show you. Right, all my stuff's up there where I can get to it on one of those magnetic things. There's the next row, which has got all my, which is the opposite to those. They're hex nuts, they're open socket, and they're like the open-enders, like open-ended spanners, right? Then your Phillips and flat-bladed jeweler screwdrivers, real little fine ones, my 2 pin vices, my screwdrivers that I use most, right? They're Phillips head, the flat blades up there, and then my tweezers. So just have the things where you get to them easy. Right, there you go. Bring it back the other way. How's that? It's the load I made the other day, and there's the 2 wagons I've just finished. Simple as that. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll get it off and running again. Off she goes. And just those points. I don't like those points. Oh, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Run into the controller. Oops. We need to clean up oil. Clean up on oil outside. Clean up on oil outside. Alright. Alright. I hope you enjoyed that. And even with a bit of fun and a clean up needed. So there we go. Alright. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.